The wind cut through the cemetery like knives, whipping against my skin as I gripped my children's hands so tightly their fingers trembled. Their little eyes were wide, but they stayed silent, sensing the weight of this day. The preacher's voice was just noise in the distance, hollow words carried off by the breeze. The scent of roses mixed with the raw, damp earth as the caskets lowered slowly into the ground. My parents, my anchor, my safe place. That's when it happened. He leaned in close. My husband, the man who vowed to stand by me through everything. His breath touched my ear, cold as the wind. His words sliced deeper than the funeral itself. I want a divorce. Right there. My parents' graveside. While I clutched our children, standing between death and the fragile pulse of life in their small hands. I didn't gasp. I didn't cry. My tears had already dried in the soil. Instead, I stared at the dark hole swallowing my parents' coffins and realized the man beside me had died long before this moment. When I met Ethan, he was magnetic. Charisma rolled off him, that easy grin that made everyone believe in him. He had the kind of drive that made you think he could carry the weight of the world. I thought I'd found my anchor, my forever. Together we built a home, a family, a dream. At least that's what I told myself. But dreams are fragile. And when they break, the sound is deafening. The cracks came quietly at first. Late nights at the office. Business trips that stretched longer than necessary. Excuses that didn't quite fit together. Then the scent. An unfamiliar perfume clinging to his shirt. And finally the text. Words he never meant for me to see. Last night was perfect. She'll never know. In that moment, the man I thought I loved vanished. In his place stood a stranger, ready to discard me like an old toy. Grief and betrayal burned inside me. Different flames, but both consuming. And yet, instead of turning to ash, I felt something harder, sharper, taking form. Ill. He thought his timing was flawless, that I'd be too broken burying my parents to fight back. But he underestimated me. He underestimated where I came from. Because my mother, quiet, gentle, always behind the scenes, had left me something when she passed. Something no one, not even my husband, could see coming. It was a letter, tucked away in her jewelry box, sealed with wax as if guarding a secret. Her handwriting wavered, but her words were strong. If you are reading this, my love, I am gone. But I need you to know, I've prepared something. For you. For the day you might need it most. Inside the envelope was a key. Small, rusted, heavy with secrets. That key led me to a safety deposit box in a bank downtown. Inside I found a world I never knew existed. Documents. Deep. And investments spread across years. My mother, the quiet homemaker I thought had no power, had been planning all along. She wasn't powerless. She was a strategist, a protector. She had built an empire in silence, shielding it until the time was right. And now it was mine. I was not broke. I was not helpless. I was armed. So while he thought I was broken, I let him believe it. I played my role as the grieving daughter, the fragile wife. But behind closed doors, I was sharpening my blade. First, I secured the inheritance. Trusts in my children's names, accounts locked tight, the house placed beyond his reach. Then I gathered my arsenal. Every affair, every lie, every reckless dollar he wasted. I collected it like evidence, stacking it higher until it became undeniable. When the time came, I hired the sharpest attorney money could buy. The kind who didn't just defend, but destroyed. We sat across from each other at the mediation table. He leaned back in his chair, smirking, already imagining his freedom, the younger woman waiting for him, the money he thought he'd take. But then my lawyer began. Page after page, the truth spilled out. The affairs. The hidden accounts. The debts he thought I hadn't noticed. Each word struck him like a hammer, and I watched his confidence crumble piece by piece. His smirk disappeared. His knuckles tightened. His eyes darted as he realized he wasn't the predator. He was prey. By the time the judge spoke, it was over. The house mine. The custody of our children mine. The inheritance, untouchable. his reputation shattered. He didn't walk away with half. He walked away drowning in debt and shame. Weeks later he returned. He stood on our porch, the same porch where we once dreamed of forever. But now he looked like a ghost, empty, defeated. "Was it worth it?" he asked, his voice hollow. I looked at him, the man who whispered my destruction over my parents' graves. And I answered without hesitation. Yes, because this wasn't revenge born of rage. It was justice. Clean. Precise. Final. My children are safe. My life is my own. And when I visit my parents' graves now, I don't weep. Thank them. For their secret. For their strength. For reminding me that survival isn't about clinging to the past. It's about knowing when to strike back. He thought he buried me that day at the cemetery. But all he did was awaken the fire my mother had prepared me for. And when I finally struck, I didn't just end his game. I ended his illusion of control forever.